Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world's world away. We now got issue 14 of Deagostini's Build Your Own X-Wing. This will be the last time I'm doing an X-Wing build before the Rise of Skywalker, because I'm off to see that tomorrow at midnight, so that should be fun. Probably won't be awake for the rest of the week. And I've done good so far because I haven't got any spoilers, so don't worry, you're not going to see any spoilers on this channel if you're aiming to see that for yourself. We're going to be assembling the wing in this issue, so let's show you what we've got to do. Quite an in-depth lot of bits here, actually. Look, we've got 4 different types of screws. We've got lots of brackets here. Now, these brackets, as you can see here, are metal, okay? So we've got 2 metal brackets looking just like that, and 1 plastic cover as well. We're just going to be fitting these inside the wing that we've been working on in the previous issues here, looking just like that. And we're going to need that from the last issues. We're also going to need the engine that we created in the last issue as well, looking just like that. So I'll put that to one side and just show you. I'm going to be fitting the brackets inside. I'm guessing we're not really ever going to see some of this stuff again, or only through some of the holes or the hatches underneath. And we're going to be connecting the engine in. We've also got a light to connect, or a cable to connect here. Not quite sure what that's for, but we'll have a look at that in a second. And at the end of it, it's going to look just like that. So quite a lot of in-depth stuff to do. It doesn't, again, show you what's coming in the next issue, which is really strange for these builds. Normally they have it on the back or in the inside cover. So I wish I could tell you, but in the US at the moment, and some of the subscribers are ahead of me. I think the US must be on issue 60 now or something like that. They're really up there because they got it way before we did. So without further ado, I've cracked open a brand new wearer screwdriver. We're going to get cracking. Okay, so the first thing we want is the inner wing frame looking just like that. And we need this metal part, as I said, which is the inner wing frame. Now, the inner wing frame is just going to be going into this section just here, and it's going to follow the lines that you can see of the wing. So when this goes in, it's going to fit in just like that. That was simple, wasn't it? Now I'm going to put this engine mount brace just on top of that. Again, this is metal, and that's just going to go in this section here with the lip here, just fitting over these 2 holes here. So that will go in just like that. Now we need to start bolting all this together. Now this is taking quite a few screws. So the first screws we need are XW04. And the good thing is, once again on this build, that all of these are actually labelled up so we know what we do. So XW04 are these ones here. And these are going to be going into these 3 holes here. So I'll put them in now. First time I've ever used this screwdriver, and that felt good. So that's the first one in. There's the second one. Just making sure it's nice and smooth. And the third one's just going down the bottom here. Just like that. 3 screws, all done. Now staying with the same screws, the XW04s, we're going to be putting 2 in this section just here. Whoops. Oh, I need to magnify, I keep confusing this up. Magnetize this up a bit better. These are new screwdrivers. You expect to come with loads of magnetization on them, but these ones haven't. So, but that is 2 more XW04s. So at the moment we've put 5 screws in there. Now these lugs here and here are going to be taking the slightly smaller screws, which are XW03s. So I'm just getting them out the packet now. We've got 2 of these to put in. So 1 in this side here, just like that. And 1 in this side just here. Certainly reinforcing this. And that's those 2 in. Now we need the XW05 screws, which are pretty much going to take off the rest of the screws in this side. So there's 4 screws to put in there. So once again, it's weird how they're all different sizes, I have to say. Were they actually built that way? It just seems very strange to have one piece that's got 3 different size screws in it. I don't quite know what the thinking is behind that, but there we go. Here's the third one. We haven't used a screwdriver in a long time on this build, so it is quite a welcome to actually have to start using a screwdriver. 4, so that's 4 in. And now that means that all of this piece here is fully secured. We've still got some holes on this side from the engine mount. And that means there's 6 screws to put in, and these are the XW02s that we've got. It looks like they're giving us 1 spare on each pack here. But again, I don't think we need to keep a box of spare screws. I know a lot of you do. But yeah, I don't. I normally chuck them after the builds. I haven't found the use for them yet. That's 4. We've got a little hole here. Nothing's going in that one yet, so we can leave that one alone. Because the last 2 are just going in this side over here. One there. And last but not least, this is the 6th screw going in. Very good. All done. Now what I want to do is turn it over, spin it around like that, and take the engine that we created in the last issue, looking like that. As you can see, we've got the wire coming out the top, and we've got a plug. That plug's just got to go through this hole just there. So put that through, just like that. There we go. And then, as you can see here, I'll show you on the close-up camera, we've got a small lug and a big one, and that's going to match the small lug and the big one that we've got down there. So when we put this in, it's going to sit just like this. There we go, just like that. Turn it upside down, and we're going to secure this into place with an XW02 screw, which was one of the ones that we just used. Well, it was the last screw that I used to screw in. So I'm just loading that up, and we'll get that through. So just loading that up, and I'll just get that through, making sure this is actually seated in properly. Just in there like that. Now this is only being held on by 1 screw. So, but once that's in, that's the engine on. Now I'm going to do this backwards so you can see, but you see you've got like a little pin or lug just in this bit. We're going to need to trace the wire around so that it's not going to get caught up anywhere, and it's going to be coming out of this little section here. So what we're going to do is put this behind the pin here using our screwdriver just to pin it in to make sure it's not going to fall out like that. Round the one at the back here, and then push it down so that's not going to go anywhere. And then you've got 2 little lugs here for it to come out just at the side, just like that. So basically it looks like there's an L going on there. Now I'm going to turn this round because we're going to be attaching this long wire here. Now as you can see on the close-up here, one of them's the actual plug, one of them's the socket. It's the socket we need, and that's just going to go into this section just here, and it's going to actually fit in here just like that. It actually pushes in. It's a push-in fit, but we want it to be just right by that hole there. This probably can be moved, but I'm putting it in just so that we can trunk this wire around. So the path it's going to follow, it's going to go just through this section here. So I'm just putting down around the edge of the wing here. I'm just going to put that just in there to keep it into place. As you can see, I'm using my screwdriver just to train this to where it needs to go. Now there are pins for it to be pushed behind, so I'm just getting those all in. This might be a good time actually to just use a tiny bit of masking tape, I think. Just to keep that into place so it doesn't move. Put that one back in. There we go. See, I can always move that again later then. Okay, make sure this is always behind the tabs that we've got. Then it's going to go down through this little alcove here, onto this section, and then once again, I think a little bit more masking tape for the minute because I don't want this lead coming out. It's going to follow exactly the same course as the last lead. So put this one in, around the side again. Just like that. And then this one's going to be coming out of the second one down there. There we go. So once it's done, making sure we've got some back there, it should look just like that. So we've taken it from this end all the way around the lead down here. So we've got now 2 leads just coming out from that side there. Once that's done, we're going to put a cover on this, and the cover's just this plastic cover that we saw earlier on. It's just going to go in like this, and we're going to secure this into place with 3 XW02 screws, which again are the ones that we've just been using, the last ones there. So 3 of these in. That's the first one in. There's the second one, and last but not least, the first one. Now I'm looking at the last piece that I've got here, and it's quite funny because we want to hide these screw holes here. So they gave us some little covers to put over it. Now, the covers, I'm just going to put that to one side, are on a sprue. I haven't seen a sprue for a long time, so we need to cut these off. So I've got my sprue cutters here. Once again, every time I use a sprue cutter, I do put a link up on my screen. You can get these from my Amazon store. And they'll come off. I'm going to cut them off, and I think I'm going to file these round. I think this is going to be a little bit tricky to get off these ones, actually. I know, they're not too bad, but they are going to need filing. 2, 3. And I'm just going to use a little bit of an emery board here, just to make sure that they are round, because I've got a little burr on there, as you can see that. Now they just say push them in the hole, so I'm going to see if we can get away with that. Yep, you could just push them in. I don't think we're going to need glue for these. Put the second one in there, push them down into place, and that's them into place just like that. So that's all the plugs in, and that is the wing section really coming into play. It's starting to look good down there. If you think that this section here is going to be going kind of like that, oh, I'm making a right hash of this. Kind of like that on there will give you an idea of how this is going to look. But yeah, pretty good, pretty happy with that. And once again, I'll show you on the main camera just so you can get an idea of scale compared to my body. This thing is ginormous, absolutely ginormous. And I'll tell you now, it's got some weight to it. One wing has got some weight to it. Knowing that the cockpit base is metal as well, this is going to be heavy. So I'm probably going to have to put some mountings on there, because I am going to have this hanging from the ceiling as well to see how that looks. But that was quite a fiddly little issue, that was. I thought it'd be a lot easier than that. But no tracing those wires round and putting all those screws in makes a change from just plug and play. But there you go. Anyway, listen, I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, enjoy the Star Wars movie if you're going to see it this week. Take care.